Welcome back, fans, and normally we'll open up the mailbag, but this week we're going to try a little different segment. We're going to rant and rave. Let's do this. In this week's rant and rave, we're looking at the coach's hot seat. No seat is hotter than head coach Derek Dooley at the University of Tennessee. This guy really came in with high expectations this season for the Vols. They were expected to contend in the SEC East, or if not contend, at least be very competitive, especially with their explosive offense led by Tyler Bray, Justin Hunter, and Cordell Patterson at wide receiver. There's a lot of talent on this offense. Defensively, they've really struggled. They tried and hired Sal Sunseri, who was a linebacker coach at Alabama. They tried to implement the 3-4 system with some 4-3 players, and it just has not worked out at all. Defensively, the Vols are one of the worst football teams in the country. Last night, we saw them give up a ton of points and a ton of yardage to Troy. They gave up over 700 yards to Troy, and they gave up 48 some odd points. That's a ton to give up to a team that you paid $800,000 to play against, and what we like to call a pay-for-play game. And Derek Dooley's hot seat has got to be getting warmer and warmer by the minute. I don't care that they won the game last night. That does not do any good for me, especially when this team is 0-5 in SEC play. They have not even been competitive in some of these football games, getting blown out by Bama, getting blown out by Florida. Georgia, they had a shot to win, but they made some mistakes down at the very end. It's still unbelievable. This team is 1-11 in SEC play. They've been one of the worst football teams so far in the SEC under Derek Dooley. I understand he came in with a lot of problems. I mean, this team was not very good when he took over, not very deep. Lane Kiffin left this team a mess, who inherited it from Philip Fulmer, who didn't do a good job himself. I was one that thought Fulmer should have stayed, especially coming off a season prior where they had played pretty well for him. But now Derek Dooley finds himself in a situation where he's in his third year with Tennessee. The team it's a much deeper team, but play-wise, they have not played particularly well, especially on the defensive side of football. And one of the things that raised some question marks around him and the staff was earlier in the season, probably about 2 weeks ago, Dooley stated that he really hadn't put much input or stayed away from the defensive side of the football team. As a head coach, you've got to have control over all facets of the team, whether that's offense, defense, and special teams. You got to have some idea of what's going on in all areas. And he stressed that he was really maintained his focus on the offense and the special teams. That needs to change if he wanted to keep this job. That shouldn't have happened to begin with, in my opinion. This is a situation where it's starting to get a little bit ugly for Tennessee fans, for Vol country. This is a team that, and a program that's rich in tradition. They've had great players like Peyton Manning, Jamal Lewis. The list can go on and on. They've had some great coaches, Philip Fulmer, Johnny Majors. Tennessee is not a program that can accept winning 7 games. That's the goal right now, to win 8 games, including their bowl game. But to be below 500 in SEC play, maybe to go 3-5 in the SEC. That's unacceptable. I don't care if they win 8 games. In my opinion, Dooley needs to go at Tennessee. This needs to be his final stand. Even if he was able to run the table and win 8 games, no contract extension needed to be given to him. I know there's been some talk if Tennessee were to run the table, you'd have to give him at least a year extension, just because you wouldn't want a lame duck coach going into his final year of his contract. I'm not one that's for that. I believe Dooley's seat is really warm. I think he's probably on his way out, regardless of the outcome of this here season. And I expect Tennessee and the new AD, Mike Hart, to go after some big-name guys. I know John Gruden is a name that Tennessee fans are really throwing around. He's the Monday Night Football analyst. He's got a great coaching background. He was a grad assistant at Tennessee very early 90s. His wife's from the area, so it could be a fit. This is a guy who stated he wants to get back into coaching. This could be an opportunity. I know Vol fans are screaming for him. So if John Gruden is an opportunity, you might see if Dooley gets fired, you're going to see a lot on the message boards. Vols fans clamoring for Gruden. You'll also see big-name coordinators, Kirby Smart at Alabama. I think Charlie Strong's name has to be thrown into the mix. Charlie Strong has done a great job at Louisville with Teddy Bridgewater. They played phenomenal football. He's got that team with an opportunity to play in a BCS bowl game if they were able to run the table. Charlie Strong, former defensive coordinator at Florida. So Dooley's hot seat is gotten hotter. I think there's going to be some changes to be made with that program at Tennessee within the next couple of months. I don't see him making it past late November, regardless of whether this team wins a bowl game or not. So that's our rant for the week. We'll come back next week with some more stuff. We'll see what we got for you. We'll talk to you guys later.